In this tutorial I'm going to go over adding lighting to our scene to get a few more dynamic effects. So I'm just going to pull out a bit. By default, any lights that are in the scene don't show up. So what we need to do is come up to this little descriptive piece here. In this case it's called user. Sometimes it might be called the view. And then right click, and then we want to show cameras and lights. So now um, these three light symbols reflect the default lighting, so it's sort of lighting from all views, which gives us a good overall light. We'll just come into here, so come out. If we want, we can edit and change those, but what we're going to do is create some new lights. So we're going to come up to create, and then we'll start with a point light and check that, and you can see in the top it adds a light. We can check on it, we can rename it if we want. What I want to do is actually move this around a bit, so come up over to here and there's the move tool. Be careful, these ones here look similar but slightly different. Here's moves the pivot point, and I'll show an example of that shortly, but we just want to move it at this stage. So come over here, um, and we can play with how we want the light to work. Bring that down. I'm going to actually bring this right down inside, if I can, just get this right, come down and actually get it, yeah, so we want it sort of right in there, get it in the right place so it's not in the wrong part, so something like that, so it's right in that little moment. Um, But what that does is then it makes the rest of the model quite dark. So what we're going to do is add another couple of lights in. So again, create, we're going to do a spotlight this time. And it's worth having a play with these and see what happens. So I'm just going to create this. We'll just pull out, zoom out. You might need to zoom out to see it. So here it is here. Because I'm already in the move tool, I can move this. So I can just move that over. And I'm going to now just play around until I get something that I like. You can have a number of lights. I would keep it reasonably minimal because the more lights there are, the longer it's going to take to render. So you should be able to get most things with 2 or 3 lights. Let's pull this over here. And then I'm going to rotate it, so come up to the rotate tool and then just rotate the other way, and maybe around this way a bit as well. This way, yeah, like that, something like that. We come back to the select tool. I can double click on that and we get a property dialog box, so we can start editing. So we don't want to transform an object. We can change the color light. Can't change the color type, the light type, but we can change the color type. We can change the intensity, so we can move that up, so you can see that's intensifying and de-intensifying the light. So we can control that quite a bit if we want, maybe intensify it a little bit, not much. And it will be a bit of playing. What are the options? We can cast shadows. This can be quite useful if we want to have a number of lights but we only want 1 or 2 to cast shadows. We can uncheck cast shadows. So there's a number of stuff there that we can add. So that's kind of cool. Okay, so what I'm going to do is now go back to the save view, and by hitting that, all the lights go out. So if we come over to the scene, to the bottom, where we've added the new lights, we can see they've actually been turned off. So what we need to do is turn them on, so you can see there. So at any time we can actually turn our lights off. So turn them on, and then we can just come over to the portfolio, right click, and then update selection visibility. Okay, So now if we just come out, so that turns all the lights off. That seems to have only selected one, so we just might do it again. It seems a bit finicky. Update selection. Oh, what's going on? Maybe I didn't select it properly. Update. Hopefully that's now worked. And what we will do is try and do another render. So quickly push the render button. Just quickly double check we're in the right thing. So we'll just hit that. Custom 1600 by 900. Great. Ray tracing. So I've set it to high quality. And if we go render, see how that comes out. I'll just pause this while it's rendering. So this has started rendering, and I can see it's probably blown out too much. I've got the lights too intense, so this one's probably too intense, and then the spotlight. So I'm just going to cancel this if I can in here. So cancel, yeah, and then I'm just going to close that down, close that, and then come back out. And I just have to turn this back on, it hasn't saved that. So click on this, object, intensity, I'm going to click and drag that down, maybe 6 or something like that, and do the same for the sky, intensity. Okay, so come back here, hopefully it saved our lights, seems to have turned them off. It's a bit annoying, but we know where that is. So if we just try and update selection. Hopefully that saves it. So now if we hit render again and see how this goes, I'll just pause while it's rendering. So after trying to render it a few more times, it wasn't coming up correctly, and I've gone back to the render properties, and under HDR ray tracing I've selected the advanced controls, and then it says use local lights only, and this gives us a bit more control. Just be aware this is probably going to be a little bit trickier to get good quality effect, so it may be a matter of going back and having no lights and just using the standard lights, but it's worth a try because you can get some pretty stunning results. So let's just try that and see what we get this time. Come and click in here, as it's building up, so you can see it's a lot darker, but the qualities are quite interesting as it's rendering it. So something to consider playing with some of the lights. So that's rendering quite dark, but depending on your scene and the qualities that you want, it may work really well. Okay.